Before we get further in the evening, we do want to recognize one of our other city council members who walked in. Councilman Chisholm, I believe, is right up here somewhere. And Hughes, Miss Hughes, there you go. And Judge Kim Cook, where are you at? Right there in the back. We're grateful that you're here, all of you. I was kind of like a little puppet there just for a second as I was reading back what Ms. Shalani shared with me. We're going to start the city candidates portion of our forum right now. Would you, again, just let them know how grateful you are that they decided to be here.
Please listen carefully to the rules for tonight's candidates forum. Each candidate will have an additional 2 minutes opening statement in alphabetical order. Last name.
All questions will be presented by one of the moderators.
The candidate will begin speaking only when the moderator calls his or hers.
Each candidate will be permitted 1 minute to answer questions. Rebuttals will only be granted by the moderator if a candidate happens to call you out by name during their response to a given question. Candidates are not to ask each other questions directly. Time provided for rebuttal is 30 seconds. Each candidate will make a 1.5 minute closing statement at the end of the forum. The sequence will be in reverse order of the initial address.
For both addressing questions, the timekeeper will signal when 30 seconds are left. The accountable will be asked to stop. Now let's begin with the opening statement from our candidates for DeSoto City Council. You would each have 2 minutes for an opening statement. We will begin with place 2, Dr. Corrigan. Oh, Garden. Sorry.
When it gets worse.
Place 2, Tamara Oakwood.
This is really difficult, and I had to ask too, several times. Dr. Tamirian Alobule. Did I do that right? Alubule. See, it gets tougher. So we'll start with Dr. Garner.
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Dr. Cora Garner. I'm running for DeSoto City Council, Place 2. I'm a homegrown candidate. I'm a proud product of this community, and I'm the only child of Lloyd and Kathy Garner. They raised me to be respectful and ambitious. So the last decade of my life has been spent serving this community in different capacities. I started off as an educator, turned curriculum supervisor, now the vice principal at Curtis Dean S. McCown Middle School and Fine Arts Academy. I'm very proud of that because it's a full circle moment. If you know me, I worked with our late Mayor McCowan for years on incentives and ways to bring our kids into the community. At the age of 25, I purchased my home. So I'm a homeowner first. I'm a citizen, I'm a resident first before any other role, and that's exactly why I'm running. I care about our community, I care about safe neighborhoods, responsible economic development, and making sure that our community thrives, and that includes bridging the gap between the city and the school district. Today, I'm asking for your vote. I care, I hope that I can answer your questions. Again, I'm Dr. Cora Garner. I'm running for place 2. Number 2 on the ballot is a 2 for 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Place 2, Tamara Oakwood.
Hello, good evening. My name is Tamira Nulubule. I'm running for City Council place number 2. I appreciate everyone being here. I want to start out saying that I am running on 3 R's, and that is reputation, relationship, and results. My reputation has been 28 years in public service and public safety, talking with the people, problem solving, and working collaboratively to benefit the whole community. I am rooted here in DeSoto. I raised my kids here. I have 2 daughters. Both of them have gone through the DISD. I now have my grandchildren that is also going through DISD, currently in DeSoto High School. I just want to point out that DeSoto is a home rule government. That means that they have total control over legislation, rules, your home, your taxes. I am experienced in making critical decisions for people's lives. So this is not a job for people or anyone with, you have to have a certain temperament. I take that very seriously, that challenge. I put God before everything that I have done in the community. When I serve, which has been 28 years of leadership, I'm currently a lieutenant in Dallas County, where I'm over 8 city jurisdiction, and I supervise several deputies. Why does that matter? That shows that I have a management experience. That shows that I can advocate. That shows that I can collaborate. That shows that I can make critical decisions when needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Peretta Parker.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and good evening, DeSoto. My name is Perette Parker. I'm the sitting council member for Place 2. I actually am a mom. I'm a homeowner. I'm a business owner. I'm a resident of the city of DeSoto for over 23 years. I've been here, and I've always led with intentionality. I lead with intentionality because I believe that leadership is about taking action, embracing accountability, and driving meaningful change that actually benefits all in the community. My goal is to actually build on all of the progress we've already achieved, to actually tackle any of the issues and or challenges that we're about to face, and to also enhance everybody's daily lives. My goal to do that would be to ensure that we grow fiscally responsibly, that we're guided by transparency and fairness. And I want to be able to do that with open communication, collaboration, and compassion for all of the community. I believe that DeSoto, I've been here serving in several roles before I took the seat. I've been on the park board. I am an actual manager or a business owner in the city of DeSoto, so I deal with businesses and people all the time. I believe there's a way for DeSoto for us to build a stronger, safer, and more united DeSoto. Let's go.
Thank you. Place 4, David Epperson.
All right, good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. You know, when I think about it, I've been serving this community for some time now. I am a retired, 32-year retired educator. And I've only spent a few years within DeSoto ISD, but I came to DeSoto as a result of meeting my wife, dating for a few years, getting married, and then moving here to DeSoto. I've grown to love this city. I think this city is great to have a lot to offer. What I have been noticing lately is we're falling apart. We are a fractured community, and there's divisiveness here, and I think I can join hands and coalesce with the other members on the council to help make us a better city. You know, part of the reasons why I'm running is because there's some transparency issues within our city government. There are issues as it relates to fiscal responsibility and accountability within our city government. As I said again, the city there's some divisiveness, so I'm running on community cohesiveness. And most of all, I want to be a representative of all the citizens. My tagline is a voice for all citizens. I think we need to make sure we pay attention to our seniors, our youth, and especially those with different abilities. And I don't think we're doing that. Individually, I think our city council members have the best intentions at heart, but collectively, we're not coalescing. And I want to do something about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Place 4, Brian Wesley.
Good evening. My name is Brian Wesley, and I'm honored to be here today. When I think about this, I'm ready to move the city forward. I'm ready to build on what we have right going in the city and build on where we need to do a little better. I'm a family man. I've been married 23 years. I have 4 children. One child is a freshman at Spelman, the other child's a senior, getting ready to go to Baylor. I have a 7th grader and a 5th grader. Came out of Texas A&M University, played football for Coach Slocum, went and played arena football, then I went into teaching and coaching athletes, leading young men, mentoring young men. Then I moved to instructional coach, where we lead our teachers and leading the district in social studies. Then from there, got my master's from Prairie View, and I started being an assistant principal at Adamson High School. Then I found something that I was passionate about. I've always been an entrepreneur. So I found whole body cryotherapy and opened up Cryo Now in Cedar Hill, where we had all the DeSoto teams coming for recovery and all around the DFW. And then I went back and I became the assistant principal at St. Anthony Charter School for 7 years. And currently now I'm at Trinity Heights. This is not about me, it's about you, our citizens, to listen to you and to be your voice. Because we know the issues and you know where we need to build. I'm asking for your vote tonight. Brian Wesley for place 4. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Before we answer the first question, we have a couple other people that have snuck in that we want to acknowledge. Constable Deanna Hammond with Dallas County Precinct 2. Are you in the room? There. You've been here long. We just didn't acknowledge you. How about Tarsha Hill with Bald Springs City Council? Back there. Thank you for being here. And former Judicial Commissioner Puga with the City of Dallas. Who won? There you go. There you go. Thank you for being here. Somebody else, wait. Oh, Pastor Andre Work, Councilman here, so as well. You all just tried to sneak in on us, so there we go. Okay, we're going to ask the first question, and let me just tell you, I didn't write any of these questions, but we're going to just jump right in. In 2025, the city of DeSoto made the decision to purchase the Thorn Tree Golf Course. Some community members expressed concern about the process surrounding the purchase, and many also questioned whether the purchase was in the best interest of the city. Please explain your stance on whether you support the city's decision to purchase Thorn Tree Golf Course or not, starting with Tamarian Oluwole.
Thank you for the question. Yes, I'm aware of the controversy with the purchase of the Thorn Tree Golf Course. I do support the decision that the council has made on preserving such a monumental location and what it means so much to the citizens. They are planning to do something with it. I'm understanding that they are in the process of trying to sell it. So where it will stay home, and I think that those decisions, because it means so much, I believe that that is the voices of the community as a whole, and so I support that decision.
Next we have Brian Wesley.
All right. Yes, I support it because I live in place 4, and just let me get right to it. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of, hey, here's a link and go read. It's my job to break it down to you and give you the facts. Now, I'm not privy to all the facts, but let me just say this. It is good to control your borders, number 1. It is good to know that other cities have a golf course. Number 3, listen, if I sell you something, you don't have to do anything about it. But now I'm hearing that it's leased to the company that's going to be running it, and they have to pour certain millions into it. I think that's great because it is going to bring people to DeSoto, bring our value up, and invest into the community and the golf course. So yes, I support it, and you need the facts. We don't need to go by hearsay. You need the facts. And as your councilman, I will make sure I give you those facts.
Thank you. Next, we have Brett Parker.
Thank you for the question. And as many know, that I am the lone council member who decided that the thorn tree purchase was not the correct way to go. And I can back up everything that I said because, as I said before, when I got the information, there was not enough information to make that decision. And I still stand by that because there's so much about thorn tree that needs to be done. And I believe that when you do a purchase in the city, you're using taxpayer funds. The taxpayers should have been the ones who would have known what was going on before it actually happened. No time did we actually, as a council, decide to purchase it until that particular meeting. So that is why I believe that it was not the correct purchase at that time. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Cor Gardner.
Thank you for the question. I'm actually going to start with a rhetorical question to you guys. I don't feel compelled to answer. But what would you do if your home was falling apart? What would you do? Because I know what I would do. I would take a stance. I'm sorry, guys. Is there a way we can restart, to be fair, the microphone? I would like to restart. So thank you so much. I started with a rhetorical question. What would you do if your home was falling apart and you were noticing it crack by crack? Would you act, or would you sit there and allow it to fall apart? What would you do if you noticed your neighbor's house was falling apart? Would you say something? Because I would. As a principal of the school, I'm even looking at things to see if they're falling apart. Our citizens have made their voices concerned when they went to the council meetings and expressed their concerns about Thorn Tree. So with that being said, I absolutely support the decision to renovate it, to acquire it. It's all about controlling the outcome. I may not live in that place, but I know the benefits that it has. I know the attraction that it brings is very important to this community, especially when we talk about our seniors having a day life and a night life. Thank you.
And finally, David Edges.
So regarding the Thorn Tree Country Club purchase, the question is not whether we support the purchase of it. The question for me is the way it happened. It appeared that it was shrouded in mystery. Not all council members were involved. I don't have all the details. I can only rely on information that was gathered through public records requests. However, I will say, anytime we make a major purchase and we are not involving citizens' input, I think you have what we have now. We have a lot of misinformation or disinformation. It is true that it being an iconic place, we should take care of it. But we have to make sure that we do things in order and according to the law and the rules. Thank you.
Thank you. For the next question, if you had to pick just one major improvement for your specific place, what would it be and why? Mr. Everson.
All right, thank you. If I had to pick one major improvement for my place, I would say I would speak to infrastructure. Within place 4, you have some dangerous intersections that I've seen for myself. Several near misses in terms of traffic, especially right there where you have the Kroger Shopping Center and John Silver's, that 3 or 4-way division right there. And then along the corridor where we have warehousing, we have some streets that are starting to show evidence of the heavy traffic caused by, the trucks going up and down the road. So that's just one thing that I would want to improve within my place.
Thank you. Dr. Cor Gardner.
Thank you so much for the question. About a year ago, I would have said our roads being improved, but I'm proud to say a call was made on behalf of my mother about a road on Parkerville that was very bumpy, and about 6 weeks later, it was fixed. So I would have started with that, but now that we've improved on that, I'm actually going to talk about devices that will slow down speeding in place too. I've spoken with some of our police officers, I've spoken with some of the residents, we've all noticed it. I think having the collaborative conversations, implementing the necessary tools and equipment to make us aware of the speed limit, especially in our neighborhoods, would help greatly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tamara.
Mind repeating the question, please?
Yes, ma'am. If you had to pick just one major improvement for your specific place, what would it be and why?
Thank you. I will have to say infrastructure. This is the echo of the community that I have spoken to in my place. There hasn't been any major or different changes in the area that I live in or that place. I can say that there are several smoke shops, two across the street from each other. Now, I'm not a smoker, but I'm not against people who smoke. But we don't have to have that many smoke shops in our district or place. And so I'm echoing the voices of the community that is in that area. That infrastructure, major infrastructure has to happen. They need to see more things done, and I agree with that.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Parker.
Thank you for that question. And in place two, we are without sidewalks. So I believe that walkability is important. We have a lot. We do have a grocery store in our area. We have a lot of ways that people are getting around, but it's not by walking, and they want to walk. Most of the community is trying to get to and from their homes, and if there was a way to get the exercise in at the exact same time, if we spend money on putting some sidewalks in, we lessen the actual danger of people moving about without their actual cars. And I believe that's the first and foremost thing that I would improve on quickly.
Thank you. Mr. Wesley.
All right. What I would, if I had a magic wand or when I get in, I want to ensure that our seniors are still being taken care of. Now, I've heard some good things at the last council meeting. The seniors are getting a new roof on their center. They're also looking to get them new vans. So taking care of our seniors, our large populations, and we have populations that are coming up to be seniors as well. So just making sure that they have a healthy place that they want to eat, they want to enjoy themselves, and they want to be safe. So what I would do is to ensure that we listen to our seniors, hear what's going on, and do my best to communicate the facts. Thank you.
Great. Obviously, taxes and finances are in the news a lot these days. What strategies would you support to prioritize infrastructure funding without over-reliance on property tax increases? And we're going to start with Ms. Parker.
That question. I believe that our CIP planning that we have in place right now, which is working on let me start over. Can you repeat the question one more time, please?
Absolutely. What strategies would you support to prioritize infrastructure funding without over-reliance on property tax increases?
Okay, there are, again, a lot of situations in our community where we're talking about CIP planning. Right now, we're in the middle of talks about a bond that is actually coming. I necessarily would not support a bond until we figure out what we've already done with the actual monies that we've already spent or the bond that we already have out. So I would encourage us to get involved in making certain that we prioritize the different the different infrastructure needs that we have, prioritize it, get some things actually completed so that we can then go back out if we need to for a bond. Then I would support it. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Edgerson.
So when you're talking about taxes and the budget, I think the important thing to do is realize what the needs are. and then have priority-based budgeting. And when you have priority-based budgeting, you look at what the needs of the city are. And then you address it from that perspective. You don't allow other supplemental things to come and get in the way. One thing we can do is, that we should do, and I have some experience with this, going to Austin and testifying in front of our legislators, letting them know, we're here and we need support, we need resources. It's important that not only we govern within the city, but we must have relationships with other elected officials outside of the city at the state level who could help us find resources. And then we can also partner with local businesses. Thank you.
Mr. Wesley.
I don't support a tax increase, but there's a few things that you can do. You can actually trim the budget and prioritize. You can actually do a bond because we have A1 credit here in DeSoto. We do a great job with our finances. We pay back our bonds. Our reserves are top tier in this city. And then also, we can look to use federal dollars, and we can look to use grants. So there's a lot of things that we can put in place besides raise taxes. Citizens do know we haven't raised our tax in over 10 years, so we want to keep it that way. Thank you.
Ms. Alula.
Sorry about that. Thank you again for the question. First of all, our revenue is based on our property tax. It's going to continue to be based on our property tax and receive from our property tax until we do something different. And to do that, we have to build. We have to build and we have to build. Our neighboring cities are outpacing us. And yes, there are bonds and grants out there that can help with the situation or funding. I believe once we start building, that we will not have to look to our residents for property tax or to support the city. I'm a homeowner, my children are homeowners, and we need to do something about just relying on our property taxes.
And finally, Dr. Gardner.
Thank you for the question. To reiterate what you asked about strategy. Well, when I was graduating with my PhD and I was a candidate, then my strategy always included reading, researching, collaborating. It doesn't matter what we're talking about, taxes, infrastructure, we have to keep those particular strategies at the forefront. If we're not educating ourselves, if we're not doing the research and the vetting of the developers, if we're not bringing people to the table, then what do we have? What effective decision are we making in the best interest of your taxes, in the best interest of DeSoto? So with that being said, that's the strategy that I will provide. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to start at the other end of the table with Mr. Wesley. This question, the last bond that the city of DeSoto requested from voters was in 2014. Based on the current projects and infrastructure needs of the city, would you support a new bond if elected? Why or why not?
As I stated in the last question, Pastor, we pay our bonds, we pay our bills. We have A1 credit here in DeSoto, so I would definitely support a bond. We have it's the smart way to do business. I think all cities do bonds, purchase bonds, so sell bonds. So with that being said, I support bonds. We haven't done it since 2014, so if we go back and research and you look at our budget, we always pay our bonds out. But also, just to add, I do want our citizens to be involved in that though. They have to get understanding at a very detailed level to help us. Thank you.
Great. Next is Ms. Alula.
Thank you for the question again. I want to start out, and I agree with my colleague down there and again at the table. First of all, we have to get the voices and talk with the community. I'm here because I am representing the community. I'm not here on my own. And so, speaking to my community, if they educating them and letting them know what could come down, what we need to do in the direction we need to go in. If they're majority agree, then that's what I will support. And if that means, yes, that means us moving forward with the bond, yes, we can do that, because we have the credit, we have the reputation, we've done well financially, thanks to the council now and the city manager, so I will support it.
Dr. Gardner.
Thank you for the question. I know the power of a bond. Back when I was in high school, graduating in the class of 2013, talk of the Hampton Road development emerged, and it was due to a bond that we have the outcome that we have today, and that we will see some progress in that area. I remember the bond that was approved by the school district and all that it changed for us for the better, the devices that it brought, the renovations that it brought. So the answer to my question is absolutely. I support the bond and I know what it can do for this city. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Henderson.
I think our community, we support bond elections. We just supported a bond with the school district. I think we will have to, again, take a look at the criteria, take a look at what the needs are. Safety has to be first. We have to make sure that we will fiscally solve it, and if we are, then I would support that. Also, as was stated earlier, I believe we should get input from the citizens. If there's a preponderance of evidence that suggests this will not be supported by the residents, then it's up to the council to come up with a different plan. But to answer your question, yes, I would support a bond.
Great. And finally, Perrette Parker.
Thank you for that question. As I said in the previous question, I'm in support of, as I did with the actual school board, school district, I did support the bond because I believe that moving things forward is a good idea, especially with all of the broken downness of the actual school ISD buildings. And I do believe that DeSoto needs growth. They need infrastructure. They need change. But I am going to go back to, I believe that for that 2014 bond, there were things that may or may not have been done. We need to make certain that we let the public know what those things are and why it was important before we actually go forward with a new bond. Otherwise, I would support it if that part happens first. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next question. Small businesses are a heartbeat of our local community. How would you support small businesses, and what more can the city do to create an environment where small businesses can thrive? Mrs. Martin.
Thank you for the question. I remember when the Grow DeSoto Marketplace first emerged in our city and the wonderful outcomes. I particularly love tie-in. Anybody a fan? Okay. So with that being said, I continue to support, I continue to show up, and I spend. So just recently I was at a perfume parlor there. I brought a friend with me. We spent $100. She brought her husband back. They spent $200. That's how you do it. You show up, you build the relationships, and you patronize. I will continue to take that same perspective and position if elected, and I want to see it even across our city. I love that it's in the marketplace, and I know it's scattered throughout, but I will be a proponent of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Parker.
No problem. Okay, as a business owner, I actually created Business Buzz for the city because I actually believe that every business deserves to have a shine. And so Business Buzz was there for the purposes of making certain that we know what's in the community. And so I go all over DeSoto, not just supporting them financially, but making certain that I get their name out there. But also from a council perspective, I want to make sure that we advocate for the city to find a way to advocate for all the small businesses, because small businesses are the bread and butter of DeSoto. I know there's a lot of large ones. We got 10 large ones, 10 or so large ones, but we got a whole lot of small ones. And I believe the city should have a one-stop shop As I said before, they should then also incorporate their ideas with the actual chamber. Let the chamber help nurture the businesses and keep them here. That's the only way that people are going to thrive in the city of DeSoto, is that we all get connected and we know what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ederson.
Thank you. I think we can learn from past mistakes. Recently, we've lost a few businesses here in DeSoto, and that has an economic impact. So we need to figure out why did some of those businesses leave our community? I do support small businesses. I think that it's wise for a city to have relationships with the business sector, along with the education community and the faith community. When we lock arm in arm with our business community, we can come up with programs and initiatives, and it can go beyond just offering incentives or tax incentives for the businesses to come. Those relationships not only require us to streamline processes for small businesses to open up, we need to make it user-friendly, but it also should require those small businesses to show evidence of giving back to the community. So yes, small businesses are definitely something I would support.
Thank you. Mr. Wesley.
Yes, I believe in small business as a small business owner myself, but it's personnel. This is a good way that we can partner with DeSoto ISD is to talk about internships and talk about those skills, because not everybody's going to college, not everybody's going to the military. They need a way to find those skills. With the area chamber, we need to help them market the businesses, because there's a lot of businesses just our residents just don't know about. And then also a lot of small businesses don't know how to structure their business, whether it should be an S Corp, C Corp, LLC, or run it through a trust, a sole proprietorship. So area chamber will partner with the board or with our small businesses to make sure they are in the right structure of their business. And then also we could partner with small business to help with upgrades. If you notice, there's better lighting around the small businesses now, or upgrade the framing. So there's a lot of things that we could do to help small business.
Thank you. Ms. Tamara.
Thank you for the question. I see that there's a lot of similarities in some thought processes down on the end of the table, along with myself. I totally support small businesses. I think the most important thing is to find out what the needs are. Just like the community, the neighboring community, the small businesses are our communities too. And we can't assume what their needs are. We need to get in there and talk with them, see what their needs are and meet their needs. Whether it be infrastructure, revitalization, supporting them financially by sending people their way and recognizing them. I have started a nonprofit, or starting a nonprofit called Dreams for Generations, and it's basically sending young people, youth, into positions where they can be mentored by either a small business or some CEO. So I agree with supporting our small businesses.
Thank you so much. Next question. How will you work with the DeSoto area chamber and business community to help city? Sorry. How would you work with the DeSoto area chamber and businesses community to help?
I think you can do this. I'm gonna do it for you, but I think you can do it. Here's the question. How will you work with the DeSoto area chamber and business community to keep city decisions transparent and business friendly? We'll start with David Edgerson.
I think you just repeated my answer in your question earlier when I said that we definitely need to streamline processes and be user-friendly to our businesses. I think we need to partner, we can partner with the chamber in terms of finding out what are some of the needs that small businesses have, because small businesses are challenged with capital. So what are some ways that we can develop workshops where they can learn about the different ways to the different ways to acquire capital and acquire investment capital along with credit as well. I believe that the answer to the question is, in working with the chamber, asking them, what is it that you are hearing from small business that they need, and then try to provide those needs.
Thank you, Mr. Wesley.
All right, so a way to partner with the chamber. I had the privilege of going out to the chamber's night out, and they had a bar, and I had a chance to speak with small business owners, and the one big thing, I've already said it, is they don't know how to structure their business, and they want that. So what came to my mind is, we have accountants that work for the city. They are very knowledgeable. How about we have some of the small businesses partner with our accountants here at the city? And I know the tax incentives are for the big companies to come in, but let's offer the small business a tax incentive to get to help. So that's how I would want to partner and listen to the small businesses. We need to hear from them. We need to have a forum where they come to the council and talk to us and hear them out. So that's how I would partner with the chamber, area chamber.
Thank you, Mrs. Tamara.
Thank you again for the question. Part of being in government, as long as I have, is collaboration. You have to collaborate with multiple entities to make things successful. I've had the opportunity to be mentored by several leaders, and one of the things that they always say, we do nothing alone. And so we have to communicate, we have to collaborate with our Chamber of Commerce and and encourage them and see what their needs are, as well as our small businesses, and how they can come together and how we can come together to help everyone involved in our great city.
Thank you. Mrs. Gardner.
Thank you for the question. There's a quote that goes, people support what they help to create. And that's exactly the mentality and the perspective that I plan to keep, even when it comes to the chamber. You know, where we're sitting right now, this is a CDC forum, but some of you know this is a collaboration between the CDC and the chamber. We wouldn't be here tonight if the city of DeSoto and the council didn't lend the room that we're sitting in. These are all examples of why it's important to support what the chamber is doing. I'm totally for that, and I look forward to the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Parker.
Thank you for that question. As a business owner and a member of the chamber, I am always collaborating with the chamber in all that they do. I go to all of their events. Well, I'd say I'm probably at 95% of them because I do have a national business to run. But I also work with other businesses to collaborate in the city when they do their night outs, when they do their luncheons, their breakfasts, and talking with and collaborating with other businesses, and also actually lending my money. I sponsor a lot of the events that the chamber has, and I enjoy being a part of the chamber. So my first and foremost rule is to help them, and to be a part of them is to help them, but also as a council member to make sure everybody else, when they come into the city of DeSoto, because like right now we lost brunchaholics, we lost NREs, and we lost them before they even really got in. And I believe that the city, again, we should advocate for them to have their voice already heard. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start the next question with Mrs. Aluale. What is one specific policy decision the current council made that you would have voted differently on, and why?
Thank you for that question. I would have to say, at first I was a little apprehensive about the decisions to build the ARC. And I say that because I wasn't sure if it would bring in the revenue that is needed, and looking at it from a standpoint of, is it totally based on membership, or how is the funding coming? But I see the work that has been put behind it, and so sometimes your initial thought or the looking at the things initially doesn't always line up, so it takes a little time to look at it again, and so that's what I've done. And so, changing my mind on that, I'm looking forward to going and visit and see how things are working, because I try to approach things with an open mind.
Dr. Gardner.
Thank you for the question. A lot of the policies that have been presented, I have actually agreed with the decisions that were made. I will say recently there was discussion around telehealth for all. Now see, I know about this as an educator because it's offered through my insurance and I take advantage of it. But after really thinking with it and sitting with it, I can understand why it just didn't make the cut. Citizens would have to opt out rather than opting in. So I try to empathize and understand every perspective and every side. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Parker.
Thank you for that question. I actually stand by every decision I've made because I made it with every decision that I made was made with the thought process of how does it affect the community. And so for that question, I can't really say of one particular project or one particular decision that I would have changed to go the opposite way. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Edgerson.
I'm going to address the ARC, but not that I would have voted differently. I would have asked more questions. For instance, the ARC, we're going to take a deficit over the next few years before the ARC starts to get into the black. It's going to eat up some of our budget, and we may have to dip. I'm not sure. We may have to dip into the fund balance to make sure that we don't end the year upside down. When you have such a large entity endeavor as that, we have to make sure that we budget accordingly. I want to say this. I love the fact that we have a place like the ARC because it's sorely needed. But I've spoken to some residents and I've spoken to some businesses that are asking the question, the same $50 million that we spent on the ARC couldn't have been used or considered for public safety in terms of another fire station. Thank you.
And finally, Mr. Wesley.
Voting differently, I don't think I could say that because I don't have all the facts. So that wouldn't be smart for me to say what I would vote differently on, but I know what I am for. I am for, and I know it's coming, is that we do get another fire station. Because I'm all about public safety. My father is a retired fireman. Okay, I remember the nights at the fire station. So I'm all about our police, our firemen, our first responders, getting their personnel, getting their building, getting what they need, getting their equipment. So with that said, we do need another one. But we partner with people like Glen Heights to make sure our citizens are safe. So I know it's coming. And these next few years will be critical of what we vote on. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Next question. How can DeSoto improve on youth engagement and opportunities for our young people? Mr. Wisdom.
All right, well, this is the heart of the matter right here. Our young professionals. Our young professionals are leaving. And we need to find a way to keep them here. They don't have many things to do here in DeSoto. Now, when you go younger than that, our young people in high school, middle school, where do they go relax? So, finding a way to celebrate them, let their hair down here in DeSoto is very important. Giving young people to do because I don't mind is the devil workshop. Let's give our young people something to do. And the area around the ARC is going to be very strategic in what we put there because mixed home parks, the nightlife, young life, because young people want things to do. So from 8th grade, from middle school on up to our young professionals, making sure they have the skills as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Eckerson.
Please repeat the question.
How can DeSoto improve youth engagement and opportunities for our young people?
So, we don't have to make that a difficult thing. We already have a relationship with the school district. We just need to enhance our relationship with the school district. We need to We have mayor for a day, we have fire chief for a day. I think we need to go beyond that and create a council of students, if you will, if that makes any kind of sense. I think that our students, I was at a forum the other day, Real Men Real Talk, and one of the high school students simply said, and he wasn't speaking for himself, he was speaking on behalf of his peers, a lot of his peers, many of his peers. They've checked out. They don't feel like they are being acknowledged or valued. We have to ask them the questions. What is it that you need? What is it that you want? We have to make sure that they know that we have their best interest at heart so that they can graduate and remain in the community once they go off to college or if they decide to stay and enter the workforce. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Gardner.
Thank you for the question. When I was 18 years old, I was invited to a mentorship program here, actually in the Blue Bonnet Room, or rather, yes, the Blue Bonnet Room just here, and it was hosted by Mayor Proctor. At the time, she was a city council member. It was me and several other young ladies that sat in a circle. We did this every Saturday. Look at me now. So when I say I'm a product of this community, this is what I'm talking about. So we need to keep that momentum going with the mentorship. I'm very proud of the internship work that's going on. We had an intern here tonight. Her name is Brianna Looney. She's a proud graduate today, but she showed up to this event. I would like to see some pipeline workforce opportunities for those interns to immediately get a job after high school or college. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Parker.
Thank you for the question. I actually believe that we could enhance the actual mayor for a day, fire chief for a day, city manager for a day, and actually go citywide. I believe that there should be opportunities for youth to understand how the entirety of city government works, as well as also maybe coupling with some of the businesses in the community so that these businesses that need help would also be able to have some interns and people will actually gain some skills instead of them sitting at home. Because I'm in agreement. An idle hand is a devil's workshop. And I believe if we get them out in the community, we not only provide them with skills, but we also get them ready for the workforce. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Tamara.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. As I mentioned, I have formulated dreams for generations because I've been in the community and I've spoken to a lot of young youth. One of the things that I found is that they're not inspired. And so I believe in leading by example. I am that person who not only just speak to them, but I show them by my works what I'm doing, but I also believe in diversity, putting them with areas or putting them with people that can mentor to them, letting them see hands-on that I can do what you're doing, or I can be a constable for a day, I can be the mayor for the day, or I can be that engineer for the day. And so they have lost their inspiration, and we need to give them back that inspiration, but we also have to lead by example.
Great. Brett Parker is going to lead us off here by answering the following question. The DeSoto City Council members currently serve a maximum 2 3-year terms for a total of potentially 6 years that can be served. Do you support keeping the current term limit in place, or would you support either a longer or unlimited term limit? Please explain your position and why.
Thank you for that question. And as a city council member, this will be my second term. And so if things were to stay the same, that means that I would roll off in 3 years. And I believe that term limits are important because when we're talking in terms of what is going on in the community, there are people waiting in the wings with new ideas, new inspiration. They're able to come in, and if they have to wait 8 years before they can actually get involved, or they feel like they can get involved, it can be a deterrent to people actually getting engaged. So I believe that term limits could be maybe, you could go 4 years each term, but I don't believe we really should go past 8 years or 6 years on any person. And that's just from my perspective. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Tamarian Olubale.
Thank you again for the question. I totally agree with term limits. Reason being is I have this philosophy. One, I'm an athlete, and so just like an athlete, you have a relay team, and on that relay team, you have 4 people who are shooting for the same common goal. But not everybody is running the race at the same pace, and so therefore, I feel like you have to have that runner or the last leg person who can bring it home, and with turn limits for those people who have a different perspective can come in and they can carry the baton over the finish line.
And Brian Wesley.
First of all, this choice is for the people. But is 6 years enough? If I look at the surrounding cities, they don't have term limits, and they get things done. I'm a competitor too. Beat me. If you think that I'm not doing my job, and you think that I'm not doing what I said I was going to do, challenge me. Thank you.
And Dr. Korgardner.
Thank you. The current term limits is not too short, it's not too long. I think it's the perfect amount of time to get the job done, and it presents an opportunity to others, as well. It's a great segue into becoming a mayor. We've seen it happen in this community over and over again. I don't have anything negative to say about the current term limits. Thank you.
And finally, David Edgerson.
Thank you. I agree with most of my colleagues, and I think it's important to have term limits because that gives you an opportunity to have new, innovative perspectives. And also, as was mentioned earlier, if there were no term limits, some of the younger people who have a desire to run or who have a desire to serve may feel like they don't have an opportunity. We press upon citizens to get involved, to run for office, to make a difference in your community. But if we have term limits where there's no way for them to even get involved in the process other than being a citizen that's involved, but they want to help make policy, term limits is a bad deal for this. I support term limits.
Thank you so much. Next question, Ms. Gardner, you will be going first. If elected, what would success look like for our local economy by the end of your term?
So, thank you for the question. When I was sitting in the doctor's office here in DeSoto, that doctor wasn't from DeSoto. One thing she said to me was, well, I love this city, Cora, because it's a city on a hill. And I'm like, well, now that you put it that way, it is. And so I want to continue making that forward progress to get us exactly where we need to be. That focus, like I said, on the responsible economic development, really seeing through the Hampton Road project and all that it's created to be, and every other development that will move the work forward. Also want to see the next generation of leaders really step up to the plate, and that's another reason why I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Eggerson.
So after serving on the council, a healthy economic city would look like, first of all, our fund balance would remain healthy just like it is now. There will be no mismanagement of funds. There will be fiscal accountability and accountable to the people, accountable to the taxpayers. Citizens would know how their tax dollars are being spent. They'll know why certain projects are being proposed and discussed. Citizens should have input. The tax rate will be competitive with our surrounding cities in that we're not the largest tax rate in the surrounding area. Those are some of the things that I would hope after serving, we start to look like economically.
Thank you. Ms. Parker.
Thank you. I believe that at the end of my term, I would like to see a DeSoto that has grown responsibly, that they have not overspent in ways that would take us in a way that we couldn't get the right businesses into the city of DeSoto. I would see a lot more public-private partnerships in DeSoto that are bringing in people, retail, and economic increases where we need the economic increases. We'll see a DeSoto where the arc and everything around it will be actually economically driving the rest of this city as well. So I believe that in 3 years, a lot more is going to happen, not just from how many people we have, but how much money is coming into the city of DeSoto. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tamara?
Thank you for the question. Success for me, for the city of DeSoto will be not just DeSoto not being a place just where we live, but where we thrive, and I believe in that motto wholeheartedly. And also, I believe that our parks, seeing people at the parks like they used to. I used to call DeSoto the Hamptons, but it hurts my heart when I leave DeSoto, like most of us do, and you hear the rumors of DeSoto being ghetto. That is not what we've been, and that's not what we're going to be. And so I want to see the community speak through DeSoto infrastructure and people feeling happy and heard, and by seeing things being built and the beauty of the parks being taken seriously, and the safety of the parks as well. Community safety is most forefront of our government and our city thriving. And until we take care of those things, we can't really call it successful.
Thank you. Mr. West?
I'm going to use a word that my last colleague just spoke about. She said thriving. I want to see a thriving young professional community. I want to see healthy eating choices. I want to see HEB. I want to see restaurants. I want to see new senior living communities. I want to see an A-rated school district. I want to see 2 years of reserve. I want to see DeSoto be a destination city where people come here and use their money. I want our medical district, our industrial park, I want those all to be thriving, and that's what I would like to see.
Great, here's another question from our community, and they're concerned about affordable housing. Ms. Aluwale, you'll start this answer. How would you address affordable housing in DeSoto, and what's your stance on the development of new multifamily housing in the area?
I believe, thank you for the question again. I believe every city has the responsibility to serve their community. We have different levels of lifestyles, and so we have to do our part on affordable housing. However, I do believe that there are certain corridors that we need to pay attention to, and we need to build on those in those areas, making it a residential area. And so I do support the building of homes and affordable homes in certain corridors that need that attention.
Great, and Ms. Parker?
Thank you. I believe that when we use the word affordable, we really need to make sure that we are using it appropriately, because low income and affordable are two different words or two different phrases. And I would like for us to make sure that we are looking at what properties are actually going to be affordable. There's several options that are being presented to DeSoto as far as multi-family is concerned, and it depends on if we're talking about low income or affordable. Affordable meaning that a person can actually pay the pay the mortgage and be able to live in the home. Low income is a little different, and that could not be something that I would support necessarily. Thank you.
Mr. Wesley, you're next.
I'm proud to say we shifted from a bedroom city. We shifted at the right time. So yes, we do need mixed housing. That's why I think it's critical with the vacant land that we have now. We need to be smart. But again, this is the people's choice, because we're not just don't want to throw up anything. We're not throwing up anything cheap. It needs to be A-rated. It needs to look the part. So I'm for affordable housing, but strategic and smart with what we put on the vacant land that we have left. Thank you.
Great. Next we have Mr. Edgerson.
So likewise, I think everyone is not going to have a six-figure plus salary. We need to ask ourselves this question: do we want to grow? As we grow, we're going to continue to have the diversity, and I think that's the beauty of DeSoto. We have a diverse population. No one is a throwaway. We should always make sure that we have not just affordable housing, but appropriate housing that's developed with A-rated housing. We need to make sure that we can develop, and they can be developed in inclusion zones. So not just a corridor where this is the part of town where all of the low-income people live, but if we have standards and we hold our developers' feet to the fire to build the type of housing that we would want to live in, I think that would be a good thing.
Great. And finally, Dr. Gardner.
Thank you. 6 years ago, I could afford my home. My home has doubled in value by 6 figures. So if something were to happen or I sold it, I wouldn't be able to buy it. I might even have to apply for affordable housing. So if you're asking, do I believe in the diversification of housing stock? The answer is yes. A recent Senate bill is allowing for zoning to increase mixed-use property development. That's a great thing. A lot of our young people who want to live in this community, they've told me they want the multi-use apartment that has the retail at the bottom. They want to see more of that in DeSoto. Thank you.
Great. And this will be the last question before the candidates start their closing statements. We're going to start with you, Mr. Wesley. How would you involve the community in your decision-making so that the work you do reflects the will, concerns, and priorities of all citizens?
That is a great question, and that is something I'm going to do on the first day. I want to find a way to hear from the people. This is the people's city. So you know what? I really don't have to come up with that answer because the people will tell me how they want to meet. They're going to tell me where they want to meet, and they're going to tell me what time they want to meet. And they are the people that have been quiet are now speaking up. And I enjoy that. I need that. That's what you voted for me for. So that's what I'm going to do to make sure that you're heard and you get an understanding. In all your ways, get understanding. So I'm not trying to speak over you or belittle you. I'm speaking to you directly. And if you don't understand, keep asking questions. Thank you.
Great. Dr. Gardner.
Thank you for the question. As an educator, one of the things we do to get our citizens involved and our families in that case involved, if you don't call me, I'm coming to you. We will get in the car and do home visits. Has anyone heard of that? So even on the campaign trail right now, I'm doing a lot of home visits. That doesn't have to stop once elected. Yes, I would definitely avail myself for townhomes, for email correspondence, for phone calls, but I want to go a step further and actually come to you if there's a need for that. Thank you.
Great. David Edgerson.
So, if I'm fortunate enough to make it onto the council, I would have a 90-day plan. And within those 90 days, I would go on a listening tour of the city. Listening to the residents, listening to the business owners, listening to those in the faith community, talking to members in the school district to find out what say you. Taking those issues back to the dais and to my colleagues on the council and addressing those issues. I think that it's really important that we stand by what we say we're going to do. If we say we're going to do a thing, then we need to do a thing. So that's the thing that I would do is within the first 90 days go on a listening tour and then enact and then have of course quarterly, no less than quarterly town hall meetings, but more if it's required. So those will be some of the first initial things that I would do.
And Tamarian Olubale.
thank you for that question. I am big on community engagement and community conversation. And I'm also big on one size does not fit all. So what I mean by that is you have, as I am now, going into the community and speaking to people, knocking on the doors and actually talking to them and asking them what it is they need, what it is they like to see happening in DeSoto. Well, that doesn't fit everybody either. So some town halls are great communication. Collaboration with some of our, like the Chamber of Commerce is great communication. Online is great communication. So whatever it takes to make sure that the community that I serve is being spoken to, that is being talked to, that is being heard, that's what I'm gonna do. I have a reputation for doing exactly what I say I'm gonna do. Most of the time, if it's something that I didn't do, there was a reason behind it other than I just didn't do it.
And finally, Brett Parker.
Thank you. And as a city council member, I actually speak with people all the time. I'm actually on my phone more than I care to admit. And I talk to people about not only their challenges, but any challenges that may be in the community that they may face at some point. And I'm constantly responding to my email. And just as recently as this past month, 2 months back, I actually created a game day where I invited the community out. It was called Monopoly, and it was an opportunity for the community to get to know not just me, but other people in the community. And then I also did Good Neighbor Day. I do it every year in September the 28th, because everybody needs to know their neighbors. My whole point as a council member is I have been elected by you, but I don't stand off from you. I am constantly in communication with you. That is my mantra: open communication, collaboration, and compassion for the people.
Thank you. Now it's time for our closing statements. Each candidate will have 1 minute and 30 seconds. Candidate order is reversed from our opening statements. Mr. Wesley, you will start it off.
Okay. Again, my name is Brian Wesley, and I'm going to ask you for your vote. Tonight, you've heard our answers to these questions. So now you have to make a decision. And if you vote for me, I would like to ask for you to, and you support and want to support me, and you think I did well, and I'm coming to your home to knock on your door soon. But I thank you for signing my sheet with your information. I'd like to come by and check your hand and put a door sign up or take a door sign. But also it costs money to run these campaigns. So I would ask for a donation as well. Because everything I said here tonight is me, is what I will do. Because you are the people that we work for. I'm your councilman. We will counsel with each other. We will counsel with you. Because you must be heard, and you must be informed, and you must have the transparency. So I'm asking for your vote tonight, and please meet me at the table so we can talk a little more. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Eggerson.
Well, first of all, thank you for this opportunity. You know, I'm not really supposed to be up here. You're looking at a high school dropout. I was pushed out of the system in high school because of some things that I was going through. I ended up having to graduate at an alternative high school. Born and raised in the city of Chicago. But when I went to that alternative high school, I ended up graduating #1 in my class. So I'm the only one that I know who's a high school dropout in the class valedictorian. And that tells a story for me. I didn't understand it then, but I understood it later. And God put me in a position to help people. So when I helped kids throughout my career, starting at Carter High School as a substitute teacher, to becoming a teacher, principal, and at the height of my career, a director of special education, I share that with you to let you know that no one is a throwaway, and I want to fight for you, and I've been fighting my whole entire life. Like, I believe in transparency in government. I believe that we are to be citizen, a voice for the citizen. I believe that we need to have fiscal responsibility. And I'm asking you to learn more about me. Go to my website, DawoodFordDeSotoCityCouncil.com. It's the number 4. My email is DawoodFordDeSoto@gmail.com. And if you want my phone number, 469-377-0813. I have no secrets to hide. I'm an humble man, I'm a simple man, I'm not flashy. I want to make sure that some of the quiet voices get heard, because we hear the loud voices. Let's hear from some of the quiet people. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Parker.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak before you all. As I said before, I am a mother, and 3 years ago when I took the seat, I lost my mother 15 days later. And the fact that I kept moving forward and I keep being the voice of the community told me that I had the strength to do it then, and I'll continue to do that. My whole goal is to make sure that DeSoto grows responsibly, filled with and guided by transparency, making sure that we enhance the lives of all members of the community. I stand by that, and I will continue to do that forward. My website is pparker4place2.com. pparker4place2.com. I need your vote, because I believe that as a community, we can grow a stronger, safer, unified community of DeSoto. Thank you so very much. I need your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tamara.
Thank you again for the question. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here tonight to look at us and examine us. Like I mentioned before, DeSoto is a home rule. That means a lot. If the state trusts me and the county trusts me, the community trusts me, I'm asking for you to trust me. I care about people's lives. I make methodical decisions that protects their rights, that shows that I care, and they trust that decision. I do this every day, all day, and I am a leader currently. I service 8 cities. I used to be over Precinct 1, which is a little bit larger territory, but I worked my way up from the bottom. I was a training officer, moved from training officer to sergeant to senior sergeant and now lieutenant. They trust me because of my leadership and because I do care for the community, and that shows in my work.
Thank you. Last but not least, Ms. Gardner.
Thank you. I've had the privilege of sitting in most seats in this room tonight. I've sat in your seat as a citizen, taking the information in. I've sat in your seat as a moderator, serving this community, and now I'm sitting in this seat. I want to ask for your vote. I am humbly asking, because at 31 years old, I could be doing a lot of different things tonight, but I'm choosing to serve, and I always have. When there's a problem in my neighborhood, I fix it. When somebody's grass needs cutting, I go get my lawnmower out and I cut the grass. That's who I am as a person. I'm about fresh leadership. I'm about forward progress. This is about new beginnings. For me, this is where legacy meets purpose. I am Dr. Cora Garner. I'm asking for your vote. Place 2, I'm number 2 on the ballot. It's a 2 for 2. Thank you.
That's great. Well, this ends our city council forum this evening. You can say a lot about the city of DeSoto, but when we've got these kind of leaders and these kind of young people, I think we're doing pretty well, don't you? And I want to thank you for being here. It means a lot that you're here and that you're concerned. It means that you're involved. This will be online for your neighbors to watch as well if they're interested, so please point them to the website and to, I believe, Dr. McCown will have it on our YouTube channel. And with that, I want to turn it back over to our president, Dorothy Pierce.
Once again, I want to thank all of you for coming out. We're so glad for your support here. And let's give a hand to our candidates. I also want to thank our timekeeper. Our moderator. We really want to thank all of you tonight. I want to ask this question. How many of you are a member of Concerned Soul Citizen? All y'all live here. Okay? See that? Well, we'd like to have you join us. There's a sign-up sheet over there. Please join us. Our dues are $60 a year for the family. And we often just discuss things that go on in our community and things that pertain to you. So we would love to have your membership. We would love to have you come and join us second Saturday morning, the library annex room at 10 o'clock. I hope to see some of these smiling faces there. Okay, so thank you again for coming out tonight. Remember that early voting begins April the 20th and runs through April the 28th. Election day is May the 2nd, 2026. I encourage all of you to vote. It's a very important election, and I hope